So I'm back with Joe Mantegna. As you remember, I talked to Joe not that long ago, actually.
I don't know.
A few months ago.
A few months ago.
So maybe there
right.
won't be that many updates, but the point is we're celebrating my 5-year anniversary. I'm really famous, and Joe is really kind enough to say, yeah, let's do a little celebration. So let me ask you first, what stands out the most, if anything, about the interview or the conversation that we had?
Okay. You know what stands out the most? The fact that you called me again and wanted to come and do a little bit of a follow-up. And then we got to talk and get to know each other a little bit, and which already takes it apart from a lot of times when you do these kinds of things. So nothing stands out about that, because it stands out because, okay, I do these things all the time, similar kinds of things. But to be able to talk to the person and meet the person and, as we just did for the last 45 minutes or so, just kind of talking about your family a little bit and mine and stories, that's what stands out. That's why I'll remember this. Well, I'll forget a lot of those other kinds of interviews that I've done over the last 50 years of my, illustrious career.
It is an illustrious career for sure. But yes, I appreciate that. And for me, it's the same thing. So I just told you why my show is called Really Famous, because I'm interested in getting to know the real person who happens to be famous.
Okay.
And when I have these conversations with you, like today, just now, before we started filming, that's exactly.
Also, because you almost look like an Italian girl too. I mean, so that makes me feel comfortable. You look like my cousin Maureen. So that all helps.
I feel so Italian too. So that's I accept that as a huge compliment.
Absolutely.
So we're family.
Right.
In fact, one of my my father's favorite expressions is alla familia.
Alla familia. I was just going to say that. I was just going to say alla familia. See that? We're thinking alike.
Every time we do, yes, for sure. Every time we're at dinner or getting together, he always toasts.
Excellent. How old is your father?
He just turned 90.
Wow, God bless him.
And he's rocking.
Excellent.
Like he's 70.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a little gift to give your dad when you leave.
Okay, great. So, this is the kind of conversation I go for too. Okay. So I'm just collecting a few of these for my little celebration, and you, of course, came right to mind. But now, this is even better, so I'm with you.
Great.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things. You just told me all of these stories, first of all, about a lot of friends you've made in entertainment over the years.
Right.
And so I do want to ask you about one briefly.
Right.
Tell me about Peter Falk.
Peter Falk. God, I loved him to death. And what was nice is when I first met him, it was in a situation where I was kind of still a struggling actor, and we were able to kind of do a little something where I was basically even off stage, helping him by being an offstage voice on a scene he was doing in a play. And, and so I got to know him just on that level. And then within a year of that, my life changed, my career changed. I was able to do this play on Broadway where I won a Tony Award, the show won a Pulitzer Prize, and Glenn Ross. And then after almost a year Broadway run, when they decided then to do the national tour, they figured to play the accompanying role to the Ricky Roma character that I play, to play Shelley Levine, they decided to go with Peter Falk. So now all of a sudden Peter shows up, the same guy who I'd worked with at that point, maybe 2 years prior, playing just this guy backstage who's kind of helping him out with his lines basically, to now we're working together on stage. That was the beginning of a friendship that lasted right up to he passed and beyond, because if you go down Hollywood Boulevard and see stars on the Walk of Fame, you'll see that right across from Musso and Frank's, which is a famous restaurant in Hollywood, you'll see my star on the Walk of Fame. And I chose to be placed at Errol Flynn at the time. And then because Peter had never bothered to do the machinations of getting the star on his own, back when they probably offered it to him in the 70s, but knowing Peter, he just went, nah, I'll get around to it. He had already passed away, so we took it upon ourselves to make it happen. My assistant, who's been with me for over 20 years, helped with this, obviously. We did all what we needed to do to get Peter his star, and I couldn't put him right next to me on the other side because Reynolds was already there, but there was another empty star next to her. And so we had his star put there, and I was able to give the speech in place of him at the ceremony, because they do posthumously give out stars on the Walk of Fame. So my father died when I was 23 years old. So there's been a couple men in my life that were kind of became father figures in a way to me. And he was, he probably would have been at the right near the top of the list of that.
Can I ask who the others were?
My Uncle Willie, who was my running partner, would be with me, all the time. Tony Bennett was somebody I've known for many, many years and kind of filled a little bit of that slot. You know what I mean? But they were performers. They weren't like my dad in any sense of the word, because my dad was nothing at all like a performer. But that thing of having that somebody who's maybe about 20 years older than you are, that you can just kind of relate to on that level. And there have been those kinds of, I've been fortunate to have those kind of men in my life. And Peter was just a beautiful human being. And, I have a replica of a star hanging right here in the office that they give me. They would normally give it to him. Right. But no, I have it.
I see yours over here too.
And I have mine over there.
Maybe I'll take some pictures so anybody who wants to see, they can take a look.
Yeah, that's the.
What do you think? This is a little deeper for a mini interview, but I'm going to ask you anyway. So, you've been lucky that you've met these men in your life who've really kind of given you that extra. Do you think? Why do you think that is? Do you think there's something about you? They like to take you under their wing?
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You know what I mean? I just feel very blessed to have done what I've been doing since I was 16 years old. Meaning, hey man, this is fun being in a play, and so it's worked out. But I don't know. I just feel very blessed and fortunate that it's worked out that way. And beyond that, I don't know why. I'm not going to question it. It's all good though.
Yeah, but there's something about you, I think, that is easy to relate to also. Like there's something about you that people really appreciate. I know you don't want me to, you're going to just be humble. I get it.
I appreciate it.
But that you wouldn't form so many relationships if you weren't, there wasn't something open and giving about
Well, I like to think so, hopefully. But let me just say this. My mother lived to be 101 years old. And right up until she died, I'm not really sure she knew what I did for a living. It was kind of like, Joey, he does the plays, he does the movies. I mean, and so it's hard to be too much into yourself and your own mother kind of doesn't, all she wants to know is how your kids are doing. And really, and if I have to, the relatives have to tell her, turn your TV on, on Wednesday nights and you could maybe see him for an hour. Okay, so.
I'm looking at the Simpsons 600 episodes.
Yeah.
Picture, poster, whatever you call it. Did you form any friendships with the Simpsons cast?
Oh yeah. Well, it's my longest running role. I'm still doing it. My last one just aired. What's today? Monday? Yesterday. It was on the last one I did was yesterday. I've been doing the Simpsons for 31 years now, 32 years playing Fat Tony. So you can't help it, So I mean, we all. It's not like we're all hanging out and stuff like that, but I got to know them. We've all grown up together. I mean, some of them were very, very young, and they're not anymore. Neither am I.
That's right, because it's super long running, so that would make sense.
I came in season 3 of The Simpsons, and they're on season 35, I think.
So you've seen them grow. You've all aged 30 years.
30 years plus, yeah.
That is
but
wild.
yet you look at the cartoon, we're all exactly
I know, exactly. That's pretty good.
That's the nice thing about animation.
Right. So Peter Falk you have over there, do you have a Godfather Part 3 story at all?
Oh, God.
A relationship story, maybe.
Well, just that Andy Garcia and I bonded on that thing.
Okay.
And so it's ironic because it's the same guy who bites my ear off and kills me in the movie, but to this day we're still very close. And I think it's because we were the two new guys in the movie. You know what I mean? So we bonded in that respect. So yeah, Andy and I are still very close.
And did you have anything to do with the dialogue in The Godfather Part 3?
I did add a couple ad libs that actually Coppola approved of. One of them had to do with a thing with Don Amici, because I'd worked with Don Amici in a film that Shel Silverstein and David Mamet had written. So there is a line. I would just say this: people who watch the movie The Godfather, they watch Godfather 3. There's a line in there where there's the Meucci parade, and my character Joey Zasa is talking to these reporters. And when I make the Don Amici, there's a line in there I mentioned Don Amici. Just know that was an ad lib that I threw in there, and Coppola liked it and said, keep it in the movie, and we did. And Don actually saw it in the film and called me and was so kind of grateful. And anyway, look it up if you don't know who Don Amici is, but your parents will know.
And I'm going to know too, because I'm looking him up as soon as I leave here today.
Right.
Okay, so I would like one life lesson, something you learned in life about the entertainment industry.
Okay, I guess the one thing I would go is this: take your job very seriously. Don't take the business seriously at all. In other words, it's called show business, and it's fine, and it's fun, and this, that, and the other, and it's all of that. But it's also a very difficult, demanding occupation. But I think for me, it's worked out that if you can just take the work that you do, that all your attention goes on that, be serious about that and all that. But all that frou-frou and all the stuff that goes with it and all that the stuff, you can get inundated by that. And because it's such a public profession, don't let that, don't let that inundate you. Don't take the business seriously. Just have, be yourself, and do unto others as they would do unto you, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good time. I've had a good time.
Okay.
I'm still having a good time.
Yes, you certainly are. You can tell.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
All right, and then one lesson that you learned in life, in your personal life.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I guess one thing I think I've learned or lived by is everybody's got a story and nobody gets a free ride. So I think if we all stay aware of that and realize no matter who you meet, because a lot of times you go through life saying, oh, man, I wish I was that person, or everybody's got a story, whatever it may be, and nobody gets a free ride. In other words, you look at the most beautiful, successful, wonderful, human being, and you find out. I remember talking about Errol Flynn, my star next to Errol Flynn. I remember part of it was I read his autobiography, My Wicked, Wicked Ways, when I was a teenager. And he talks about it. There's a line in the book where he says, here I am. I was the biggest star in Hollywood. I had all the women in the world coming after me. I was making tons of money. I was the biggest box office thing. Why am I sitting in my house and in my bedroom and I have the barrel of a pistol in my mouth? Which he did. And then something happened and he decided didn't do it. And when I remember that, it's such an impact on me when I read that. Because I too reacted like, what are you doing, Errol? Why would you do that? And as you get older, and I've been around long enough to realize, all the success in the world, all that, this, that, and the other, that doesn't necessarily going to mean you're going to have everything's hunky-dory and that you're going to have a perfect life. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of miserable, successful bastards in the world. We all know that, so.
That's exactly right. But not everybody is a, miserable bastard.
No.
Including you.
Okay.
Or for sure you.
Thank you.
Or not.
Thank you.
That was a weird ending.
All right.
Thank you, Joe, for
You're
doing
welcome.
this.